Hello and welcome to VeeamON. My name is Rick Vanover. I'm on the product team and I have a very special segment here for us as part of the online experience. I'm joined by Nico Stein. How you doing today, Nico?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Rick.
So Nico, thank you again for joining. You're on the road, so that's also part of how grateful I am for you joining. But maybe take a minute and just introduce yourself to the audience here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Nico Stein. I'm the SVP of IT and Operations for Credit Union, Signal Financial out of Maryland. We're a small to medium-sized credit union, about 450 million in asset size, about 25,000 members, and we use Veeam.
Indeed, and I love it. By the way, congratulations on the new title. I think the S in
Thanks.
SVP is relatively new, so congrats on
Thank you.
that. So we go way back. You're also a Veeam Vanguard, so you're one of those really special folks that are a practitioner, but also really management and such. But tell me how you use Veeam in your organization.
Absolutely. So I started my current job about 12 years ago, and that was my first encounter with Veeam. Veeam was there. I've never heard of Veeam, and I started digging into it. I quickly learned it was all set up wrong. There were so many support cases. Rick, please don't look up Signal Sister and support cases. You're going to kick me out of every program. But I th even back then, I thought it's a really good product. It was just set up wrong. So I completely destroyed it. Just deleted the servers, left the backups there, but started building from scratch and really started digging in. And every version, there were more features. And now it's really an integral part of our data protection and disaster recovery side. We use VBR and we use VBO, still calling it VBO, probably will forever. We use agents. I was actually one of the first ones that I know on the East Coast to deploy agents. I kept hitting our account rep like, hey, I need it out of beta. When is it out of beta? And it's like, you can do it now. Okay, I'm already downloading it. One of the reasons is I wanted to have a converged backup infrastructure. Back then we had a competitor product as well for physical workloads, and it was just not intuitive. It sort of worked, but I wanted one program that really does it all. So we run agents for lots of workloads. Um, we have several Veeam servers around our disaster recovery site. It is really part of our backup strategy, especially we're heavily audited as a financial institution. So it always comes up by the auditors like, okay, great, you do backups. How can you prove their work? And I'll literally just pull out the sure backup reports like, okay, next. So this is one of the best features for us. I preach it to other organizations, and anyone who knows me in the community is like, yeah, I'm always saying like, do sure backup. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, it's really what we use Veeam for it. And I've said it before, without Veeam, we probably don't have a disaster recovery strategy at this point. So we use it a lot.
Love to hear that. And true story, Nico. I used to work at a bank, so I like a lot of people. What did Rick do before Veeam? Well, true story. I worked at a bank, so I understand what you're going through with those audits. And a couple things to unpack here. You mentioned rebuilt the Veeam deployment. I think that actually speaks to the flexibility because the backups are importable, so you don't lose the history, but how you go forward, you could have really paved a better path. I love that multiple products are used for Veeam backup for Microsoft 365, Veeam backup and replication on premises hybrid use cases. But when you talk about those audits, getting the confidence that should bad things happen to good data, you have a way out of it. How important is immutability in the mix of what your day-to-day operations are?
So yeah, immutability. Remember like 2 years ago, I had a conversation with the board. So obviously, if I want to buy something, there's discussions about does it make sense? Why are we doing this? So I shifted from in our function that we will protect ransomware outbreaks. I cannot protect us from that. That is a shift, right? I told the board it will happen. There's nothing I can do about it. Now, of course, we deal with people that are not technical. They don't have to be. So they freak out when you say like, okay, we're going to get hacked and Nico's not going to do anything about it. And obviously we're trying to stop them, but the truth it is, it's probably pointless in some extent, right? I'm sure we should have all security, zero trust if possible, but prepare for the moment it will happen. And then how quickly can you come back? So we use immutability. We actually object first customer. We use it on-prem. After painting the picture to the board and the C-suite and the non-technical people, it really wasn't much of a conversation anymore. They saw the need. They don't need to understand what immutability is. They just need to know that we can recover quickly. So we do this on-prem. We push some workloads or backups to the cloud, Wasabi. So we have several rings, but it's all immutability. That was all brand new, like 3, 4 years ago. Oh, we need immutability. Now it's you do it, and if you don't do it, I'm not calling you behind the curveball there, but you need to get on. It's standard procedure at this point, right? So we use it. It works pretty easy. It's a set and forget solution in our case. I know Veeam has the hardened repository as well that I love. We don't use it at work, but I use it on home lab. I like the home lab. It's fun. It works very well. The reason we went with a more out-of-box solution is it's a smaller team. I might not be there to support it, and hardened repository is not that hard, but you need to be in it a little bit to do it. And if I hand this off to another team member, and if something really happens badly, I don't want them to worry how to operate the system. I want to take that away from them. So, but to your question, Rick, immutability, it's a standard, right? Like it shouldn't almost not be talked about anymore. It should be assumed. I know that's not the case, but that's my point of view on it.
Oh, I love there's a lot to unpack there. For one, number one, for the folks watching this, immutability is an absolute must-have to Nico's point. And Nico, I love how you took it to the board of the fact that a disaster that we are most likely to have happen is a cyber/ransomware type of incident. That we have data indicating that the current, I have it right here, the current 2026 Data Trust and Resilience report even indicates that I want to say 30% of organizations have had an incident in the last year. So you have to prepare for this. I love that you've done that. I love that you took it to the board. Here's a zinger for the audience out there. If you think about object storage, immutable Veeam backups in a bucket, you mentioned on-prem, you mentioned the storage clouds that you're using. If our customers have those backups in an immutable bucket and they have their encryption password, we don't have a tech support case record on file of a client unable to recover data. That is super powerful when it comes to these ransomware threats. So if you don't have an immutable backup, that's an absolute must do. But I highly recommend organizations save that encryption password, as well as maybe some bucket keys and things like that, the very practical things that you would need to use that data. Save that in your secret server, save that in your password manager type of thing, so that if you're in an absolute recovery scenario, you have everything you need. But I digress. Love that perspective, Nico. One last question for you, if you've got the time. What can Veeam do for you? What's your wish list? You're very hands-on, very tinkerer, from the home lab to the hospital, from the basement to the bank. You're doing it. But what do you want from our products as you go forward in your operations?
It's funny that you ask, Rick, and I'm not completely disclosing where I'm at right now. Let's put it as a conference in Vegas. So I would love feature parity for other hypervisors, right? I mean, we all know the Broadcom. We don't need to go down there. Companies are looking for alternatives. They want Veeam to work with it. They also want all the cool features, right? We're moving, it's not a secret, moving away from Broadcom. I'm losing some features that close to my heart, like Sure Backup. So if I can have one wish, Rick, feature parity for other hypervisors as soon as possible, please.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna give you one better, Nico. And for those of you watching, absolutely. Our product teams across the board, it's plural, they are prioritizing parity across the hypervisors. So you will see it is absolutely reasonable to expect some of the newer platforms that we've announced really from Proxmox forward when it comes to from a timeline standpoint. So I'm talking about Proxmox, talking about the Scale hypervisor, talking about HPE VME Essentials, and I've probably forgotten some. As we go forward, yes, absolutely. Directionally, you will see things like threat detection. You will see ransomware detection, the inline or threat hunter type scanning. You'll see instant recovery. You'll see replication and other things like that. It's going to depend. Each one of the platforms have their own nuances, but directionally, those are being prioritized by our product teams. That's my vague directional answer with no timeline, but you have been heard, Nico, and others in the
Love it.
market for sure. Nico,
It's
thank
ready
you
when
so.
it's ready, right, Rick?
Indeed, and but we're
Sorry.
we're but I'll push on that a little bit. We're a little bit more forward with the roadmap in these days, so I feel a lot more comfortable making those bold claims, and I think the audience appreciates that. Nico, thank you so much for joining us while you're on the road.
Thank you so much, Rick, for having me.
All right, that wraps this exclusive customer perspective segment here at VeeamON. Be sure to watch all of the extra content on the VeeamON portal and engage with us on social media. Thanks for watching.